Dean wrote the verse with dissing Beyonce in mind, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Let's say Esther Dean wrote it. Why were you mad on the red carpet? And why would you take a verse that's dissing Beyonce if you didn't feel like doing it? People are in the comments like, oh, Keri's always been so sweet. She has. I think Keri Hilson is like a sweet lady, but people aren't sweet all the time. And you had a lapse in judgment. And I understand, because you was writing hit after hit after hit, and you could sing your ass off. You was like, I'm that girl. Nobody else is that girl. But unfortunately, you messed with that girl. And you have to take like accountability for it. Like,
oh, well, I didn't mean it. No. I didn't mean it, though. No, it wasn't just me. No, she was the one that told me to do it. No. Okay, so then, ma'am, who was it? Who was it then? Shout out to Lil Lo. She's the TikToker that posted this response in the beginning of the video. Her name is Lil Lo. I'll tag the video in the description. When somebody is feeling threatened or jealous about you, they will initiate a one-sided beef with you. And when it doesn't work, when they can't diss you, when they can't sun you, when they didn't embarrass you, when they didn't destroy your career, when it's not hitting, when it didn't hit in the way that they wanted it to, and they get hit with a back to sender 2-piece quarter pounder, they get a back to sender eat your karma knuckle sandwich. That is when they're all of a sudden sorry, or they're blaming it on other people and they're not taking accountability. I like Keri Hilson, but just take accountability. Just be straightforward. Just say, you know what? I was feeling myself at the time. She was technically my rival at the time. I was feeling myself at the time, so I put out that track, and I knew that there was a vindictive motive behind it, but I sang the verse anyways because I was feeling myself, and I let the little girl in me take over, and I decided to initiate a beef with Miss Beyonce for no reason, and I take full accountability of that. I was feeling threatened. I was feeling like she was my rival, and I just wanted to diss her. I just wanted to start a diss with her. But the problem with a lot of women is because the stuff that they do is so jealousy driven. A lot of women, what they do, a lot of it is driven by jealousy and envy. They can't admit to that. They don't want to say, I was jealous of her, so that's why I got her fired. I was jealous of her, so that's why I lied on her. I was jealous of her, so that's why I started a problem with her. Women are never going to do that. They are going to lie. They're going to talk in circles. They're going to tap dance. They're going to do everything but be honest and say, I tried to destroy this girl because I was jealous of her. It didn't work, and now I'm mad about it. I'm mad that I couldn't completely destroy her in the way that I wanted to. The reason why I'm putting out this message, I'm not Team Bae, I'm not Team Keri, I'm not Team anything, I'm Team Righteousness, okay? If you are an ascended person, it's your job to be on the side of righteousness, not the side of people, not the side of your favorites, the side of truth and the side of righteousness. God wants us to have righteous hearts. We are on the side of righteousness. If people learn to be on the side of righteousness, goodness, and what's right, the world will be a much better place. The reason why I'm putting out this message is because I want you guys to understand this. One, some of you guys will be in Beyonce's position where you're just doing your thing, you're hustling, you're pushing yourself forward, you're focused, you're driven, and some random person out of the blue has a problem with you and they're trying to draw mass attention to their problem with you because they want to do some reputation ruining and they want to start a beef with you to get attention, right? So they want to ride on your coattail for attention. Some of you guys, you're just focused, and there are random people in the workplace, random people in your family, people that you don't give two damns about that are completely creating some strange issue in their mind with you that doesn't even exist because they're obsolete in your universe, but in their universe, you're the center. Okay, and then some of you guys will be on Keri's side, Keri Hilson's side, where people are putting battery in your backs to make you go against another person for no reason. or somebody's gassing you up to go against another person because they low-key want to see a problem, especially women. Women like drama. So they want to see a problem. So they're gassing your head up to go against this person, right? That's what they did with Cardi B and Nicki. They were gassing Cardi up to go against Nicki, and then she failed. And then when that failure happens, so does the career. The career starts to flop. So you have to really be careful when you're in either of these scenarios. Jealousy-induced one-sided beef can completely destroy you, and I think that is what happened to Miss Keri Hilson. There's more than one thing that I'm feeling and seeing that happened to Keri Hilson's career. It wasn't just a jealousy-induced one-sided beef, because she was beefing with Beyonce and it was completely one-sided. Beyonce has never and will never acknowledge that situation. It was a one-sided situation. And she allowed producers to put a battery in her back to put out a diss about Beyonce. And the diss was allegedly written by a woman that Beyonce stopped working with. I guess the woman was salty and put certain verses in the song to be jabs at Beyonce. Keri Hilson was probably already feeling that green-eyed monster towards Beyonce and decided to get on board with it and put out the track. Then that's when she got blackballed in Hollywood. And not only did that happen to her, based on what I'm seeing with her, because I have a lot of spiritual sight, they also screwed up with her vitality spiritually. That's why she disappeared for 10 years. So you see, in her mind, she thinks she disappeared for 10 years and is just natural, right? Like she thinks that, okay, I just couldn't do music. I wasn't in a good space. I was traumatized by being blackballed. No, baby, they attacked your vitality. That's a spiritual thing. When you have a passion for something, you don't just stop for a decade to heal. You're going to always find your way back to what you love, which is music. And she's a very beautiful woman, and she's a very powerful artist, and she's a very powerful writer. But when somebody spiritually tampers with your vitality, they make you lose the desire to put out art. A good example of vitality being tampered with is what happened to Cardi B. Cardi B has not put out an album in 10 years. They put a battery in her back to make her go after Nicki. There was some spiritual retaliation there. That's why she hasn't put out an album in 10 years. Not because she can't, because her vitality is being tampered with. That's why you got to learn how to pay attention. Life is spiritual. If you love to do something and you all of a sudden don't want to do it, or you feel too tired or too lazy or too compromised to do it, that means that somebody is messing with you spiritually. They're screwing with your vitality. That's why I tell people, when you don't feel like doing something, that's when you do it. When you don't feel like working out, that's when you drag yourself to do it. When you don't feel like putting out your artwork, that's when you put out 15. Instead of putting out 5, put out 50. You have to push back. Now let's get more into jealousy-induced one-sided beef gone wrong. Jealousy-induced one-sided beef gone wrong. Jealousy-induced one-sided beef gone wrong. Now, this is a trap that many people fall into. Many women give their power away by entering some strange one-sided problem with somebody for no reason. They just enter it and they lose their power while giving their power away to the person that they're jealous of. A good example of this is the situation that happened with Keri Hilson. You guys may have seen it all across the internet. How Keri Hilson put out a diss track about Beyonce over a decade ago. And it ended up, that diss track alone got her blackballed out the industry, right? So you got to be careful who you start problems with. And you got to be careful, to ensure that you're not being sabotaged into your downfall. What do I mean by that? One thing I will always tell a woman: women love drama. They really do. And if a woman is smart, you are not going to allow women to reel you into their nonsense, because that's how you stay at the bottom. When you are easy to manipulate and women can reel you into their low vibrational drama and one-sided issues and going after the threat and all the stuff that women will team up to go after the girl that they see as a threat. Women attack in groups, right? So the girl that they see as a threat, that's the one that all of the women are going to team up to go after, right? And some women are just very dumb that they get dragged into the hoopla, and then it doesn't bring the results that they thought. That's what happened to Keri Hilson. She probably thought, oh, well, I'm going to say okay to this. I'm going to be a part of this diss track. I'm going to put this diss track out on Beyonce. It's going to make numbers. Everybody's going to love it. All the attention is going to be on me. None of the attention is going to be on her. It's going to push my career ahead, and I'm going to win. And now it's going to be all eyes on me. That didn't happen, though. She actually got blackballed and forgotten about. And if you look deeper into the story, allegedly, it was another woman that had an issue with Beyonce, a woman that used to work with Beyonce. Beyonce stopped working with her for whatsoever reason. And this woman decided to develop some type of diss track, allegedly, or put a couple verses that were geared towards Beyonce and had Keri Hilson sing it, right? So essentially, she had the problem with Beyonce. She wrote the track, put the battery in Keri Hilson's back. The labels put the battery in Keri Hilson's back, had her perform the song, and then they knew she was going to get blackballed. I personally believe that they knew that by starting this one-sided issue, I feel like they knew she was going to get blackballed. I actually feel like Keri Hilson was so talented, so beautiful, and so capable that they purposefully made her beef with Beyonce so that they can get her out of the way. You guys have to understand the psychology of people. It's just like that girlfriend in high school that's like, yeah, fight her, fight her, fight her. She's pushing you to fight the girl, and she knows that girl's gonna beat you up. So she just wants to see you get embarrassed. She wants to see you get embarrassed in front of the whole school because she knows that, you're not really a fighter, but she's going to push you to fight the girl and be like, oh, don't let her talk to you that way. Fight her. And then now you got beat up and everybody's laughing at you. Your hair looks crazy. You have a black eye. You look a mess. And that same friend that was pumping you up to go and fight the girl is now in the bathroom laughing at you and sneaking pictures about you that they're going to post on MySpace and say, oh, look, she got her ass beat, right? So you have to be careful when people are encouraging you to enter one-sided beefs, one-sided altercations. Nobody is more gullible and immune to entering one-sided beefs like women. Women are easy. It's easy to recruit a woman to a hate train. It's easy to get a woman to not like another woman. It's very easy because women have a very difficult time standing alone because women have a strong desire for community. Because women have a strong desire for community, because women are so desperate for friendships, they are willing to go after an innocent woman for no reason and team up with a group of other girls just so she can belong to something. And that is going to be your downfall. When you have jealousy-induced one-sided beef and you decide to be immature, again, little girl behavior, I made a video on this, you decide to create a problem with a woman because she is the threat that all the other girls are going after, right? Women usually team up to go after the threat. When you decide to hop on that hate train, if the women cannot get rid of that threat, right? Some women are so powerful you cannot get rid of them. You will not be able to. If they can't get rid of that threat and you end up losing, now you're going to try to be cool with the threat. That's what a lot of women do. When they fail at destroying you, now they want to befriend you. I've seen this happen time and time again. I've experienced this. They couldn't destroy you, so now they have to try and be your friend. They realize you're too sturdy, you're too solid, your foundation is rock solid concrete. They can't destroy you, so now they want to befriend you. When they can't destroy you, now they want to befriend you. That's how a lot of women operate. When the hate train fails, when the smear campaign fails, when the diss fails, when the one-sided beef fails, now they got to try to be friends because they know that they cannot take you out. So, do I think that Keri Hilson is talented? Yes, I think she's very talented. I think that she let people get in her head. She said it in the interview. She said that she regrets putting that diss out. She said that she regrets all of that because it cost her her career. Now, here's another vibe that I got. I also low-key feel like her energy was tampered with. Yeah. I feel like she went after Bae. And the retaliation against her wasn't just blackballing. I do feel like her energy was tampered with because she didn't put out a project in 10 years. To not put out a project in 10 years, that means that they locked your vitality. And a lot of you guys listening to me here, your vitality has been locked. What does that mean? When somebody screws around in your vitality, that means that you're talented and you're good at what you do, but for some reason you don't have the motivation to do it anymore. And anytime I see that or somebody talks to me about that, I know we're dealing with a spiritual attack. Somebody saw your momentum. Somebody saw how talented you were. Somebody realized how much of a threat you were, so they sent you dark energy to slow you down. A lot of you guys, you just don't have the desire to do what you love anymore. It's like you can't even get to the other side of the room and paint anymore. You can't play the guitar anymore. You don't have the desire to work out anymore. That is a jinx. You need to be able to be aware of that. They will throw things at you to make you lose your vitality and not have the desire. It's called emotional and mental manipulation. I personally feel like that also happened to Cardi B. After she went out of her way, and I guess she started that beef with Nicki, Cardi B hasn't put out an album in 10 years. And most people are saying, oh, you know, she's lazy, she's this, she's that, she's all over the place, she just can't rap. No, honey, that is a spiritual problem. Some people, they're going to hit you in your vitality. And I think that that's what happened with Keri Hilson. I think that they were like, all right, let's just remove her desire to sing so we can officially get the threat out of the way. So that's how I know Keri Hilson is very talented, because one, they put a battery in her back to play her. And then two, they screwed up her vitality. So you have to have a lot of spiritual awareness in life to tell when somebody's messing with you physically or spiritually, so that you don't fall into the traps. Like sometimes I'll have people tag certain creators under my videos or try to say certain things to get me to, and I'm like, I know that a lot of women like drama. Actually, women love drama. I know that they do. And I know they're always going to try to reel you into it or create a drama that's not there. I have a very strong mind and a very sharp spirit. So I'm not going to allow any woman to put a battery in my back for me to attack another woman. Some women are dumb enough, they fall into it. They literally entertain it, they fall into it, and then it ends up backfiring on them. That's exactly what happened to all the people that went against Nicki and her hate train. Where are they now? Where are all the artists that went after her? They flopped. None of them are charting. None of them are on the charts. None of them have put out any work. All of their careers have flopped. Why? Because they were dumb enough to allow people to make them go after Miss Nicki Minaj. So now they're paying the price for that. Don't let people put a battery in your back. Don't do that. because you don't know what the consequences. If you have a problem with someone, have a problem with someone because you genuinely have a problem with someone, meaning that person genuinely did something to you. Do not allow people to manipulate you into having a problem with someone because of their own jealous ways. That's why the people that wanted to throw Daniel in the lion's den, that's why they got thrown in the lion's den along with their families. You don't allow people to make you create a one-sided beef with the person that they are jealous of. Stay out of it. Do not fall a victim to it, because you may end up losing everything that you worked hard for. I worked in HR for several years, so in this class, I'm going to teach you guys tips, tricks, and valuable information so you can be a corporate Spartan. It is not easy working in corporate America, but if you have the right office politics and you know your rights legally, that will definitely help you have a more enjoyable experience. So this class, I will be teaching you from an HR standpoint, what to do, what not to do, and how to jump paths so that you can get the promotions that you always wanted, what to look out for and what not to look out for in office politics. Also, next class on power. Power is very, very important. This class is not about feminine power. It's about power in life and having staying power. To get through life, when you're dealing with humans, men and women, you need to learn how to make sure that you have staying power, and you need to learn how to make sure that all of the moves that you make sense so you can always be 25 steps ahead of everyone else, because life is chess, not checkers.